Hey friends, it's Dusty here, and I'm going to be continuing our devotional series through the fruits of the Spirit. And the fruit that I'm going to be talking about today is self-control. Such a challenging one for me. And it comes out of Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. It says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and lastly, self-control." What is so interesting about self-control is that as we read all those different fruits of love, kindness, joy, peace, gentleness, the underlying current in those for us to live out those other fruits of the Spirit is self-control, being able to control ourselves. What has been really cool is that as a life group, we've been talking about the Holy Spirit and unpacking who He is. And when we are empowered by the Holy Spirit, what does that look like? And we came across this question of how do we know we have the Holy Spirit in us? Which then led us to Galatians 5:22, that we know that we have Him in us when these are the fruits of our lives. And I just want to quickly just encourage you, if you're not in a life group, send us an email, hello@cityhill.co.za. Our life group have been so blessed, and it's been so cool lining up our life group discussions with our daily devotionals. And so anyways, let's talk about self-control. I remember when I was on a diet where I couldn't eat sugar. I wasn't allowed for a single drop of sugar or piece of sugar to touch my lips. I struggled so much. I remember even taking, like, Tennille would eat a chocolate. I'll take the wrapper and I'll just just put my tongue just on the end of the wrapper where there's no chocolate there, but I could just get a sense of the sweetness because I was craving sugar so much. But the self-control that I had to exercise at that point in my life was just absolutely insane. You see, I've heard people say to me, "Dust, when I get saved, why is it that becoming a Christian, life becomes so much harder? Surely because we serve this Jesus, that life should be easy. It should just be roses and flowers and everybody happy all the time." You see, the reason why it becomes a little bit more tricky because now our need for self-control increases significantly when you and I give our hearts to Jesus. You see, our self-control to abstain from the sinful desires in this world, abstain from the life that we once had, now trying to live this godly life. The interesting thing about self-control is that you only require self-control to control yourself when you have something to control yourself from. And so I want to say, friends, that self-control, to empower us to have self-control, we've got to know the why and the what, not just the discipline of self-control. We've got to know what are we controlling ourselves from and why are we controlling ourselves from. You see, when we understand that, the reward of what we control ourselves from far outweighs the cost. See, when I was on my no sugar diet and I started losing weight and I started getting my six-pack, I put a block of cheese on my chest and by the time I hit the ground, it was grated. I'm just kidding. But when you start to see results from what you are controlling yourself from, man, I'd say self-control becomes a joy and not a burden. So I know self-control is tricky. How do we do it? 2 Timothy 1:7 says this: "For God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control." Ask Him to help us, and the reward will be far outweigh the cost. Be blessed.